Oh, hi. How is everyone doing out there? I'm I'm so glad to be here, and I hope you are too. I did a little bit of research, and apparently I am not loud enough. There we go. That's better. oh, that'll look really great for the VOD later. So I did a little research, and I've pulled up some of the endings that we didn't get to last time. It's there is a whole lot more to this game than I remember. I apparently did not do all of it. So, this will be fun, and I promise we're going to actually get to all of the new content. Let's see. Let's go ahead and just jump in. Can I turn myself up a bit more? How's that? Is that better? Oh, it was on your end. Okay. Like, everything that I've read, as I'm looking at my sliders here, I have to... This is not far enough. I have to make sure that my voice is in the -10 to -20 on the level. And the audio of the game is below that. And no peaking. We don't want any of that. Okay. So, let's see if I can get this one right. This, there are just a couple more things that we have to do going the left way at the,
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yes, we know about the story of the man named Stanley. We still have to go left a bit. I apparently have to turn that up. There we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And let's see. We will get to that in just a moment.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
How are things with you, Al?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Yeah, we gotta go this way.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
No,
and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
There
Stanley
we go.
was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Are the plot bunnies getting to you, Al?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Here we go. Slightly, but mostly work. I feel that. You haven't been getting any of the storms that we've been getting, have you?
The building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
You've
This
got one.
question would not go unanswered for long.
You have one TA out with an injury and another lost her father today. Oh man.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
That
that read
sucks.
Mind Control Facility.
Okay, we are coming up to another glitch that I didn't realize we could do.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours, so here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility.
I'm just doing this on purpose.
Jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier.
Oh my
Chase
God.
your dreams. Railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job,
Oh,
you did
dear.
it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Well, that was a little bit surreal, wasn't it? Let's see. So that was that. Ah. There's one more that we've got to take, that we've got to go that
All of
way
his
to get.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Once we do this, then we'll get to the
When
new
Stanley came
content.
to a set of 2 open
'Cause there's
doors,
still a
he
lot
entered the
more.
door on his left.
And apparently we have to go through that in order
Yet
to
there was
unlock
not
a
single
whole
person
bunch
here
of more
either.
endings.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Okay, so this one, I don't know how long this is going to take. Hopefully not too long.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Okay, maybe I've got to go through here.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
And then we go down.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Nope.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Perhaps it's the boss's office. Or could it be the boss's office?
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
Oh, that music's awful.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Anyone have one of those when they were growing up? I used to have one made out of glass. It was pretty cool. Or was it? No. It wasn't glass. It was
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
No, I had the thing where, like, I mean, that the little bird, it was made out of wood, but I had the thing where, like, there was some fluid in it, and you held onto the bottom, and the warmth from your hand would make all of the water flow up to the top, and then you would let go, and then it would flow back down. Entertained me for hours.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no
think someone's
frame of
calling to
reference
me.
to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
We gotta do it. Bird? Were you talking to me? Oh, okay. I thought I heard something. It's time for a bird break.
I was working.
Oh, you were working.
I was working.
Okay.
There was a ferret.
Oh, it's a ferret. So, now, we go up again. Oh, goodness. Do you have something to say, Inara?
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience
This
to
guy-
build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story?
This guy
the
really loves his
characters?
voice, doesn't he?
Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley.
He's
I want to have
patronizing
to
me.
think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a
There's the
role
door.
model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
I like you can actually see the what Stanley looks like here. Oh dear. World's healthiest human being, all tricks revealed. How he did at the pyramids. Live, the guy who went to Mars. Oh, and what are these? The storyteller. Stanley reveals all in his new book. I can't read what the little blurb is. Can we get on the thing? No. Nope, can't read it. An evening with world peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley from the Stanley Parable. Oh, boy. World's first sentient machine.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going
Almonds
to speak a little
choke.
bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
The Lord meet and greet. What do we have in here? Up again, down again. Break a leg, champ, your boss. Stanley, me. Dad, age 6. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You're too cool. Good luck on stage. I love the way you ride elevators. No one tells stories the way you do. Stanley, my true love for you grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife from the apartment ending. Oh dear. An unforgetting account of ups as well as downs. Ellie Vader. Highs and lows. Isn't that what life's about? Steven Stairs Walker. 5 stars from Star Magazine. Oh my god. Remember where you came from, your coworkers. Oh man. The dude who came up with pizza. Oh my. And he dies from a heart attack. And here we are again. Okay. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
At this point, let's see. Let's see. We've done confusion. We've done powerful. We haven't done the cold feet one. That won't take long. We did the apartment. The cold fee and what won't take too long.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Let's see. So we do this,
Stanley
we go
was so
here.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
You have to start with the cold feet ending, and then you can just hurl yourself off, because that's the only other way to get out.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Now,
Stanley decided to
the
go to the meeting room.
new
Perhaps he had
content.
simply missed a memo.
Because I want to see it.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
What about that way? So, oh, are we gonna stop here? We're gonna stop here. Okay. Birdie is about to go to, she's about to go to her parents' place for the weekend to dog sit. So she is currently spending a bit of time with the ferret right now. So I'm
You see,
not
Stanley,
sure if she'll be in
I've been
channel.
reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Right.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Huh. Okay. I missed this. New mug. Looks like a flowchart on there. Testing 2 printers at the same time. Oh, we got some forms here. And a briefcase. Form. Concern, number, inquiry, signature. Time to wake up. There's so many 2s. I can just tell. Puppo? I don't know.
Calling it the
Oh,
Stanley
yeah.
Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Yeah, Jake is, I don't think Birdie has talked about Jake that much. He's got some really weird illness that causes him to not hold on to any weight, so he's very sickly. The poor pupper. It's just a paper with, like, there was 8 on it, or it was 4, no, 5 and 10. Okay, so there was 10, and it was scribbled out to be done with 5 twos. That's great. Oh, look, it's a Kanban board. Off painting D. Oh, man. Ah, more over there. But first we have to take a look over here. If there's any way we can get through those. What's this? Just the 2. Oh, my God. Of course they would have put that in there. I would sing it, but I don't want to get demonetized. Though I'm not really demonetized anyway. Another new mug. All those have... Oh my God, all those have boxes, and the second one is crossed out. They're back. 2 doors. Aw. Oh my God. Is that supposed to be a playoff of Mac and PC? There's 2 people there. There's 2 accounts signed into the computer. Meeting at 2 p.m. Let's see. From management to everyone. BCC me. Meeting at 2 p.m. Sincerely, management. It's a Chromebook. Not a MacBook. Not a Chromebook. It's a Crowbook. What's this? Sequel ideas. Oh my God. Stanley can throw axes. Stanley gets boons for deaths. Artistic intimate wife scene. Free room mode. Or free roam mode. More famous narrator. Dress up mode. Microtransaction, of course. Proper gameplay. Nude Stanley. New York City. Jetpack. Fuel canisters. That looks to be a D20 or a dodecahedron. A 2 times 10 sided die. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Boring sections, cool red section of the chart. Ah. Wow. Oh my God. This, if I had to guess, this is, you got the old and busted and the new hotness. It's a quote from Men in Black 2. That is some next level trolling. I love it. I love it so much. I can't read what all the twos are on there. I can read is 2 times New Roman, 2 Keep on Truckin', 2 Shackleton, 2 Stand for the casual enjoyer, 2 League Gothic regular, 2 Orbitron, cool sci-fi. Oh, those are fonts. Okay, right, got it. Don't talk to me before I've had my sequel. 1 + 1 is 2, -1 is 1, +1 is 2, -1 is 1. Yeah. Ah, it's beautiful. Every pause button is a Roman numeral 2. Someone's screaming out there. More of the Stanley Parable, better Stanley Parable. Win-win is 2. Sequential mind share. The color red. Leverage holistic value. Oh god, there's that damn word again. Oh dear. 2 halves of a brain. Ah! 2 ferns. It's not just one. Concept art. It's a circle. Ah, all the different logos. Thanks for attending my meeting. Oh dear. Yeah, that's part of Google Suite. So that really is a crow book back there. Okay, that doesn't make sense. That would be creepy as hell.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 arms, 2 legs. Who took the red marker? Me. 9 o'clock scrum, 10 o'clock design pitch, 11:30 break, 11:35 pitch design, 12:02 number 2 chat. I wish some of these were just closer. Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, Divinity Original Sin 2, Doom 2. That's really... Aladdin 2 Return of Jafar was a TV-only film. Dark Souls 2. Crab, the ultimate sequel. The Stanley Parable is the prequel to the Stanley Parable 2, is the sequel to the Stanley Parable, is the prequel to... Oh my god. You are the sequel. Ooh, what do we have here? Oh, stuff I can't read. So, Al, I hate to say it, but I saw your pop up on Steam. Do you have this narrator while you're having another narrator? Ooh, do we have a movie? Can we get in a movie? Why is there a bus? Like, why? Why would you just have a bus there? Expo Hall 2. Whoa.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
The Stanley Parable 2 reassurance bucket. Okay, what do we have? All right, office decorations over there. The reassurance bucket is over there. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Oh, no. All right. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear your name in the game. A name. Everyone's got one.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
This is... Gotta check over here. What? Oh, okay. All right. This is impossible. Well, it's impossible when this came out. Now, I don't know. With the amount of stuff that AI is doing.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind,
Okay, all right,
forget
all right.
whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Yeah, and I don't want to
If
be.
so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Okay.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Okay. Let's see. Do we get something for trying to... No. Can't touch those buttons. There's all this room for just a button.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Why did they changed it? That's what that's, wow. Okay. This t-shirt is the best new feature. Honestly, I think some of these could sell if they didn't already. Hey, there's a QR code. What does it say? And it takes it to the actual store. Yep. It takes you to the official website of the Stanley Parable 2. That's beautiful. Okay. Let's see. A jump circle, an infinite hole. Consistent quality with just the right amount of change. The new updated ray traced more of the same but in a good way sequel. Red is the new orange. Oh boy. All right. Let's check out. I think there is a certain way that we've got to go about this.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Okay.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
So now we have a bucket. All right, what is this? This is board members, please note that you must use the following terms as often as possible. Synergy. No one but us actually knows what this means. It adds to our prestige. Incentivize. This refers to the metaphorical whip which provides the incentive. Unpack refers to looking for meaning in a big pile of rubbish. Ping. Send a message. Childlike onomatopoeia which probably makes us sound cute. Deep dive. Discuss in depth. Makes a tedious meeting sound like more of an undersea adventure. Good for motivation. Reach out. We do not call. We do not email. We reach out. No one can complain if we are simply reaching out. Like a friend, like a lover. I'm so tired of business majors reaching out. Oh, man. Just all kinds of like, oh, buzzword. Let's say a
Does anyone give
buzzword.
out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
So we're going to carry this bucket. This bucket is actually going to come into play.
I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Which one do we choose? Get well someday or happy 12th birthday step niece? Oh my god. All right. What do you think, Owl? Like, oh, sorry, I was in the kitchen. We're going to include balloons. Which one of these two balloons should we have? Happy 12th birthday, step-niece is amazing. All right, I'll do that one then.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday it is.
Figures. And now they're everywhere.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Okay, there's more stuff over there. Free, new and easy achievement. It just works. I can't believe it's that simple. Let's get it here. Okay, here's an achievement this way. Free achievement. Get yours right now. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement. No more steps. It just works.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Pull me. Please pull me. Okay.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Stuff is blinking in a certain sequence. Nope, it's just blinking. It's blinking for no damn reason. Go over here. Is there anything over here? No. Really? Anything we can touch? I don't think so. All right.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
There's been a lot. There's been a lot that we haven't seen. Ah, the jump circle! And it has 0 jumps remaining because we used them all up.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
No jumps remaining, player tears. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Oh, the Expo Hall 2 guide. Okay, you were here. And jump circle. This map. The free achievement. We did not get. Button that says the name of the players playing the game. Right. Merch. Settings World Champion. B squared. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. Went through the office decorations. The epilogue. A9 collectibles. Ah, there are collectibles. K is the infinite hole, and E is the exit. Okay. So, let's not go through the exit just yet. We need to go... Let's go through here. Let's go back into this area so we don't lose anything. Been through that. We've been through that. We've been through that. We went through there. We went through here. We have not gone in here. Oh. Right. Let's not do the epilogue just yet. This is supposed to be... I think we have to go through the collectibles next. Oh, the infinite hole is going to be great. Can you find them? Well...
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Yay! Oof. So what that does is that opens up the other 5 that are in the game that we have to go and find.
It really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Investor Showcase magazine. This year's hottest investment opportunities. Sequels. What's better than that? Nothing. Top 10 investors currently visiting the show floor. Oh, boy. All right. Next is the infinite hole. Concrete contemplations, plain reinforced pre-stressed precast lightweight bag of C, smart polymer, and the rest. What does that say? How to look at concrete and how to not look at it. It's issue 2, the second issue. And what is that? The holy moly? How deep can we dig? The answer will mildly surprise you. Ooh, is this another one of those glitches? Nope. Darn. Okay. As we go deeper and deeper into time, as we go deeper, we increase time. So we are falling to a distant space, between a distant space-time and a distant future. Oh my god. Al, you might want to take a screenshot of this. You might have some interesting stuff to do with it. Rim, depth, infinite, surrounding area. Okay. Whole entrance in infinity. Infinite hole chart. Hole, more hole, infinity, science, more, falling. It just keeps going. I can't read any of that up there. It's too far away. Okay.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Just checking to make sure that there's nothing to look at over here. Well, let's do it. Whee!
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
No. We're not gonna.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Nope.
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Nope. I've got my bucket. What else do I need?
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever.
Cigarettes.
I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
I'm the silent
Maybe we
protagonist.
just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite.
Like the Earth is mostly
Works for
harmless?
you? Then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Okay. Yep, that's really... that. It's a pale white dot up there.
Great. Now, I'm very excited. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lot. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point.
More like a step, isn't it?
It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Uh-oh.
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Nope.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else.
Excuse me.
Take care, Stanley.
Wait.
I hope you and the whole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
What was that? Now we're playing Myst. At least I still have my bucket. Oh, right. Sorry. I don't know if this is playing on the other camera. Hang on. Oh, good, it is. Now we get this. Change your perspective, change your perception. Ah! Too close. That's better. Nope. Gotta go over to this side now because we now have this button. Oh my. Change yourself? Oh my god. Hey, the puffer! Aw, the puffers.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine.
Oh my god.
My head's stronger. You're no longer using
Yeah.
up the space of mine. My head's
Yeah.
Stanley? Stanley?
no longer.
Stanley!
Ah, what?
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
Really? That's all this is happening? Okay, let's see if we can get through all of the different changes. Oh, it's just gonna bring us back. Okay. At least we still have our bucket.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Fine, mostly infinite hole. Fine, it ended. Alright, so that's the way to the exit. We've done that. The settings world champion. Okay, so we've got to go through to the epilogue.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
What do we have here? Oh. Or mostly infinite hole, free achievement. Settings world champion. All right. Who is the settings world champion? Oh. Right. I forgot. We have to go into settings. And then, all right, so 72. You have to change every single value. Excuse me. So, because there is an achievement that you have to change you have to check every single setting control on here. It's like you have to go into, oh my god, Windows, first person shooter, second person shooter, plasma rifle from, oh my god, Joe's favorite. Play of the game, Windows. Oh god, that's great. Oh wait, no, we've got to go in here. Bring that all the way up. I don't really care what that's set to. I'm not going to use it. Oh, right. Oh, God. This is going to take a minute. Actually, I wouldn't mind having the translation labels on. Enables translated labels on top of in-world text. Yeah, we want that. Color labels... content warnings, and an option to skip sections of the game that deal with suicide, trauma, and mental health issues. That's nice. I'm glad that that's there. Remove screen shake and camera bob. Low dexterity mode. Reduces difficulty for time-sensitive inputs and precision platforming. Some people really, really like that. We're not going to reset the settings, though I'm pretty sure we'd have to. Turn this all the way down. So while I'm doing this, how's everyone out there?
This is the story. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
You can completely mute the narrator if you really wanted to.
This is the story of a man.
See, I like having this. Ah, there it is. Settings World Champion. Because we've already gone through all of this, apparently. I'm not changing those. I don't want to screw that up. There we go.
Aha! I can see you've gotten the Settings World Champion achievement. Well done. You've experienced every setting, traveled to all corners of the settings menu. There's nothing you haven't seen. So, just for you, in the Stanley Parable 2, I'm including an entirely new setting, something called bumpscosity.
Bumpscosity.
What exactly
Oh
is
my god.
bumpscosity? Well, I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I just know that you'll be able to adjust it on some sort of slider. and that it'll be available from the settings menu. We'll sort the rest of the details out later. I hope you're looking forward to trying out every level of bumpscosity in the Stanley Parable 2.
You're the champion of setting all the sliders to all the possible numbers. Please enjoy this room. This is your room. It was made just for you. Ah, they'll never set the setting sliders to every possible setting. Oh, that's great. Okay, good. We might actually get to read some of these things. Some of these things that have been on the floor that we haven't been able to read. Let's see if it will do it. Not that. It's just doing that with the signs. Okay. I mean, that's helpful. That's helpful, I guess. It would be helpful for people who have a harder time reading things than which is, you know, that happens. Hell, I just started wearing glasses this year. Okay, let's see. I think that's everything except the exit. We've done the infinite hole. We just did the epilogue and the settings world champion. We can't go out, so we've let's see, jump map, yep, free achievement, yep. Okay. Let's exit. More things that are in twos.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Another briefcase. Huh. Like the mural there.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Oh, good.
Okay. Are you ready?
Me and my
Here
bucket
it
are
is.
ready.
I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
No.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Right, because it's the second version. Oh, God.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course.
Uh-oh.
With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Fancy. Sloping rooms. Lots of curves. It's kind of creepy, but awesome. I'm digging this. All right, well, let's go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building.
Okay, yes, we get that. So is this... This is the new one.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration
Let's see if
and
this
realized
works.
it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
I could do this all day.
There once was a man named Stanley.
Oh, no.
People considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Yay! Oh, that's beautiful. The sequel is now paused. I wonder if this is really it. Like, is this going to be it? No, we're still very much stuck. I think. Let's see. Yep, that's the end of that. Okay. Oh. I'm supposed to try something here. Wait. That? Hang on. There's one that I'm not sure about. Like, okay, it might not. Oh, right, right. I'm using the wrong thing. Okay, so we've done. Okay, we've got to now collect the figurines.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
And there's the bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
So I think... Whoa.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Sure, why not?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Oh my god, all of the narration has changed. Oh shit. We've got to go through all this again.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
Is it though?
You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
Don't say that about
That
my
your
bucket.
relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never.
This...
Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
I can't say anything.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in
Oh
the
my
natural
God.
order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see?
It's a bucket.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
I hope they sold these stickers. That would be... I'm pretty sure they would have. It would have been great.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Is he gone? Okay. Now we can move on.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Yeah, we'll go through all of these in a little bit. We just have to take the bucket with us everywhere. And there's the achievement. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come
That poor
across one of these
face.
beautiful figurines.
Let's check in here. Nope. Okay. Just making sure there's nothing else to pick up. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Hey, another one.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another
Stanlerines.
Stanlerine under your belt.
Oh, dear.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if
Oh,
not for
crud.
the bucket.
There's something
Soothing
we've
him,
forgotten.
Comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
All right.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead
Stanley
through the
and the
large
bucket.
door that read, Mind Control Facility.
We're gonna go through all of this because I wonder what the freedom ending is gonna be like with the bucket.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I can't believe that they re-recorded everything so we could have a bucket.
monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Huh. I missed 234.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as
bucket.
well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world.
Aww.
At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Oh, so good.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening?
Uh-oh.
Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with
Oh,
the bucket.
no.
No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What? Oh, right. I forgot. There's this ending, too.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay. We're going to take a little bit of a break. And, well, because I've got to stretch. I've got to get a drink. I haven't had a drink at all, the past hour and a half. So we'll be back in about 5.5 minutes. So, see you in a bit.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone? Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it. I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing? The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone? Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
That whole time I was muted. Crap. I'm not very good at this. Okay. Large room, lots of boxes. Stairs, something to do with stairs somewhere, both red and blue. Is this some kind of game? There must be a point to this. Oh, we got the fireplace. Okay, good. Lies. Who are you? 666 lol. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. I want to go home. Aw. Clues, myclue.jpg. I bet you can actually get into the game code and find that other clue. Please do not leave the office before reporting back on any new findings. Help them post it. I see charts. Oh my god. Teamwork and communication are of great importance during this unprecedented time of investigation. Thank you. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to go down this way.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
See, there's one.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
That almost looked like a button there. All right, we got to go through here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket.
Oh, no.
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh,
and we gotta do this again.
He exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special
My God,
bucket.
all of the buckets.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
So many
He had
buckets.
to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Stanley was the bucket.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Yeah, we have to go through the Mariella thing again.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
There's the bucket.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work.
for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself. My life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
All right. And here we
I
go
can't
again.
wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing? No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Okay. I think this time... Ah, yeah, we still have plenty of other places to go
Stanley
yet.
touched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yep, we got that one. Somewhere both red and blue, a large room, lots of boxes. Okay. So we're gonna
Through
go...
a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Let's try... see if we can do this. Oh, right. I have to hit this yet. There we go. Before I do that, I have to do that. Then...
Stepping in.
there we go. We go back through here. This opens up all the other... beware the false prophet, collecting is sexy. Oh, hey. It's got some actual... 10 steps to a successful workplace investigation. Decide whether to investigate. If necessary, take immediate action. Choose an investigator. Plan the investigation. Conduct interviews. Gather documents, clues, evidence. Evaluate documents, clues, evidence. Take action. Document. Print list. Figurine Finders Committee. Oh, man. What is the... what is this? It's the F-Files. Oh, that's so good. Love it. All right. So you go back through here. And then this door is open. You are now leaving. Right, we have to go through this. Because before, we weren't able to leave. Now... this is going as fast as it can. Nine. Escape pod launch bay. There we go. And now we have something different. Aww. Aww, he really does love the bucket. Stanley is so selfless. Just to make sure that the bucket is okay. Bye, bucket.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
That's weird. Oh, shit. The bucket's gone. The bucket's actually gone. Oh no, the bucket's actually gone.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh no. Oh no.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Oh no, the
Coming
bucket's
to a staircase,
gone.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But I need the bucket.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting? Or
Replacement
a photo?
bucket.
He could no longer recall.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Okay. Let's see. We've got to... we have to go through the epilogue. We have to go through the epilogue. Or the,
Stanley clutched the bucket
the escape.
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
The other two Figlies are, if we
Coming
go
to a
right.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay. We have multiple things to do. Still.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Why do we want to press the number 3? Oh, we're gonna go press the button. We're gonna go press the 3 over and over again.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley, after taking some time to show the bucket around the boss's office, Stanley at last went to the keypad, where he began eagerly pressing the number 3 again and again.
What if I do this? Nope. All right. Let's go back down.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Well, in that case, let's go back up.
No, 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 said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
And let's go hit the 3 again.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind.
Nope.
Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all. Only
Excuse me.
silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Aw, poor Stanley.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Well, there might be.
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Oh, boy. Oh, that's great.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
3 again, the Stanley story. I played the demo. I went to the mind control facility and all I got was this lousy sticker. Narrator Airlines. Wish you were here. Aloha from the Freedom ending. Huh. Three. That's the magic number. Yes, it is. From who? Popular song. A shockingly three-dimensional character. Thurston Thurbert III. 3 stars for the 3-star magazine. Copies of his old book there.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
What's so sad? One of the few times I'm actually happy that, you know, this that this restarts. Okay.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's see. Okay, so there was that. There's did the broom closet thing.
Coming to a
We went
staircase, Stanley and the
downstairs.
bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
We glitched that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Now let's see.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So we go down here. We have to go through this.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Ah, here we go. Here's this bit.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps.
After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home.
Aw.
In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning.
Oh no.
It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable.
Aww.
This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
And then we're back. So there was a cup there that was like, fine, you found me. I'm subject to the color palette of the room. So what is a thing? And I missed the rest.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
Let's see. All right, so we did that.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Here we go. Now we have to turn everything on.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
There we go.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned
God, we're gonna have to
discover
put this
not an
in
indication
every
of any
time.
human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Ooh, I got a little dizzy there for a second.
This is certainly the most logical explanation.
You really don't like. I can't believe that you could play this in VR. I would not want to. It's one of the few that I absolutely wouldn't want to do.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large
We'll go
door
through
that
there
read,
eventually.
Mind control facility. The lights rose on an
this.
enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
After this, like after we get finished with these,
The monitors jumped
there's
to
some
life,
more stuff to
and
do on the
Stanley
right
nearly
side.
dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
I think there are two other. Yeah, we've still got two.
Was the
Fig leaves
bucket
to
under
pick
the
up.
mind control facility's
And I
influence as
think-
well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of
Maybe a
things
handful
does a bucket
more
want to do
of
or not
endings.
want to do in the first place? These
We should be
questions
done
raced
with this
furiously
one
in
tonight.
Stanley's feeble mind.
Excuse me.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world.
At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Yeah, the thing with the bucket,
here
like
was the
trusting
proof.
the bucket,
The heart
that
of
should have
the
been a giveaway.
operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived, but at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was
Oh,
prepared
no.
to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Oh,
Birds.
birds.
Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Silly birds. Birds. And bird. Did bird. Birds.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds
The
after
flamingos
another,
are silly
and then it
birds.
dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Bucket planned this all along. Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands,
Bird.
the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found
Honk.
freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of
Aww.
all the possible paths his life could have taken,
Oh, wait.
this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Eh. Eh. Ah, well, that's a good ending.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
All right. We've got...
Coming to a
Think
staircase,
one more thing to
Stanley and
do?
the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Interesting. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
All right, so we go down. Let's see.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
Nope,
Facility.
we gotta go this way.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Here we go. Bucket. All right.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death. It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
It's a new area. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You're standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? And so now it's just a museum
Can
of
you
a bucket.
see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him?
Oh my God.
Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
A bucket with two handles. This bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Oh, wow. 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. That's a lot more than 25. The Inferno bucket, a replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket. Oh. The stress bucket, an analogy. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance. Stress equals the level of water in the bucket. Vulnerability, size and strength of the bucket. Coping strategies equals holes. Oh my God. There's some deer with the bucket. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Oh my god.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Lots of different lights here. The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. And I think we are supposed to fall off of that. Oh.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die.
We have a bucket fanatic.
Take his place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Oh, I have missed this absurdity. All right, we have got to go. Whoa.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Wow.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Okay, we've gone through all of the... Okay, we are now at the point where we have to start going down the right the right passage.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Let's see. We have to
No,
go.
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket. Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices? It's true. You can fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive.
Hey.
I'm serious, Stanley. Jump. Jump with the bucket. I promise you'll live. I extra double promise that you can land on the bucket and not die. You're getting close now, Stanley.
I didn't know about
nearly gotten
this.
All of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines.
Figler and
None of us can.
Marines. I didn't. I think we missed this one. Wow. Yeah, we did. All these tapes. The narrator's sound system?
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes.
Oh my.
The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms.
I think I had something
Why
like this.
everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket.
This is really creepy.
But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Otherworldly noises. What? Holy shit! Oh, that's great!
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. Ah, the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was
We're gonna go through here and we're gonna do the falling
Stanley
thing.
took the door on his left to go
Wow,
back
we don't
to
have
the
that much
meeting
time.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here,
Whee!
it looks like the... But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Okay.
All his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Let's see.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things.
I think... Let's see.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly.
Trying to get to the
his...
last,
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
the last
Stanley had felt
Figley.
the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than... No,
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Okay. Let's see. I think I've got to go this way.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Except that we didn't.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
Because...
What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it.
Oh my.
This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
What did I just get myself into? Oh, God.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
We are going to fail this one horribly.
Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh. Okay.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh. Okay, let's just keep going.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect.
Oh.
This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket? What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
Wait, what?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
I don't know anymore.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Can I stop playing this game now? Yes.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago, I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift.
Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Yes, narrator, you are
Stanley,
a bucket.
I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
There is
I
only
can't have
bucket.
that. I'm sorry, but I'm going to erase all buckets.
No,
from the
don't do
game.
that.
Okay, here we go.
We don't.
What happened? Is everything gone?
Because everything is
Why
a
did
bucket.
everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person?
Tell her that,
All right,
hey, you're
here
a
we go.
bucket. Hey, I'm a bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
That they're all buckets.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow.
Oh,
Very
shoot.
lucky
I don't think
indeed.
I'm supposed to do that. Crap. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to do that. All right, let's go through
Stanley
one more,
clutched
and
the
then
bucket
we'll
tightly to his-
actually finish
This
it.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley
I have
felt
to
the bucket
pass the
calling to
bucket.
him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go
Do I
back
need
to the
to-
meeting room.
Yes, let's go this way.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Okay.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home where we can go about life together.
Let's see what happens.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very
beige
distressingly, he
pages.
began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, it's a bucket. Jazz music. This is interesting. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press X to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press B to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me?
Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press X for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time, it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine.
Oh, no. The narrator's getting corrupted by the bucket. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press X to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
X to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Go home to work, to home, to work, to home, to work.
Oh no. I'm having feelings.
Oh my God, they're candles.
No. What's going on?
We're
Why
having
do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand.
What?
Perhaps if
Oh my
I had
God.
the bucket, this would
There's a
be
bucket
less
there.
confusing.
There's a
Yes.
bucket there.
The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
There's a bucket. The basket is like a bucket. What do you have over here? It's 13?
Stanley, give me the bucket.
No.
Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give
Close
it
your
or I-
eyes. Go back to work, Stanley. Okay, so this time we are not grabbing
Even
the
now,
bucket.
Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, so this way we are going
The
to
lounge was grand.
go back over
majestic,
here.
Perhaps, but
Jump
eager to
onto the
get back to
catwalk.
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you, or... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on...
And there it is.
There we go.
Last Stiggly Wiggly.
Stiggly Wiggly.
Stanley, this is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here.
We're all done
and
here.
now we
No.
can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
I think we do this. I think we have to restart a bunch of times. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, right. Hold that thought. We have to quit, and then we have to completely quit the game, and then we have to go back into the game. There we go. There we go. Please adjust the slider until the dog and cat are friends. Aww. Aww. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. That's a 9. Oh, there's a 9. Adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Oh my god. It's sliders all over. Which of the two made-up words below is most appealing to you? Scrumtush or occuboinkle? I think the occuboinkle. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. Do you know what time it is right now? Yes. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? Yes! What is time anyway? Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Yeah. Help. Will you come back to visit me? Yes, of course. Okay, now we load the game. We've gotten all the figlies. We've unlocked the bucket. We've restarted at least 5 times. Is that what we have to do? Do we have to restart the game 5 times? Yeah, I think that's what we have to do. See if this works. Nope. We have to quit. We have to exit. Then we have to open it again. It always misses the developed by crows. What time is it? Does anyone really, truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all the game settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. And now, the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you I can. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Talk soon. So, we've unlocked the bucket, we've collected all the figurines, and we have to... I think that is what we have to do. We have to restart the game. We have to go through all of these opening sequences. Because there is one final thing that we have to do. Going a little over my time, that's okay. Nope, okay. Did it do it? No. There. I think that's the 5th time I've restarted. No? Let's see, okay. Once the very first... Oh, you know what? Maybe I have to restart the game now, like 5 times. I'm curious. Because I want us to finish this thing. We didn't get all of them. We got the majority of the endings. Nope. Here we go. Okay, so... I think this is the 5th time. If that doesn't work, I'm going to have to go look up the thing. No? Okay. Hang on. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, there is one final thing. Okay. So, this is an option available on the menu screen after completing the... after completing the figurines ending? Okay. Aha. Oh. Okay. We're gonna do it. We may be up a little later than usual. It's fine.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Oh.
I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Wow, okay. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Oh my. Zone, sweet zone. Ah, the basement is open.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Oh my god. 7 of 6. Oh, great.
And here was a second Stanlerine. You
Stanlerine.
found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
It was the boss's office, because I didn't get the under the stairs until the 4th one.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, behind the boss's office. It was the 3rd one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your 3rd time doing anything. Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
No, we
Well,
didn't.
I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
No, it didn't. This is creepy. Ah, there we
This
go.
was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh my god! Oh, it's just awful Windows Media Maker, and oh my god. That's so good! Bad clip art and everything.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
8 minutes! Oh my god.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Ah. You are in the present. What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie? Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening
And then
now.
There was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone. No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more. And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Oh no. Oh my god.
Yes, I love that video. Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
So fired. Wait a minute. Nope. And then we got
This
here.
is our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit
it's
where
so
I introduced
creepy.
you to the Figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Oh. Oh my.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
And okay, so we have actually gone backwards to everything.
And
Okay.
before everything else, there was your office.
Oh.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate.
I think this
I
is
was
finally it.
skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then
Oh my.
somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship.
The narrator
And
needed a
Stanley
bucket.
really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named
Aw.
Stanley.
This is the story of a...
And that's it. That is the end. Oh, no, here we go. Epilogue. You can't see because I'm covering it, but there's finally an epilogue on here. Okay. This is what we've been looking for this whole time. Many, many years later. Or should I do it in the other voice? Many years later. Whoa. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go. Sure is pretty out here. It's cool. Oh. Oh no. Chairs and more chairs. Why are there so many chairs in a storm like this? Where did they all come from? And they're just bringing us in circles. We're just walking in circles now. Ooh, we like the moon. Yeah, let's go walk to the moon. Or towards it anyway. Yeah, I'm loving this music. Wait a minute. What? Oh. I guess we're only supposed to just admire. Oh. What is the. What? It's. Oh dear. Why is there a. What? In loving memory of the Stanley Parable 2. Oh god, that's creepy. Everything's gone. What's this generator connected to? Oh shit, I can't go back up there. Okay, we're railroaded now. Review, The Stanley Parable 2. Like so many, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores how truly disappointed I am with its sequel. The first game teamed with originality. The Stanley Parable 2 is dull, inspired, and often insulting to its fan base. Rather than expand on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers off into territory nobody asked for. An infinitely deep hole? Who cares? Where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from the Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired side quest collecting figurines. Even this diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all the figurines gives you nothing. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. What else is the uncompromising gaming content? Let's see. Sorry I haven't been blogging too much. Review SNRAF 3. Protected post. We need to talk about sequels. Recent comments. Archive, September 2027 and 20. Okay, so everything's like, 2012, 2013, and then 2027. Aw, the cat dog is born. Scientists confirm hybrid species. Wow. Because we made them friends. Now they will be forever joined together. Stanley Parable developers. No more spin-offs, no more sequels. The Stanley Parable launched to massive success in 2013. Its creators made plans to build property into an entire franchise, but a disastrous critical and commercial reception of the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions, as outlined in a press release they published today. It's clear that more Stanley Parable is just not what the fans want, reads the press release. We had this vision for the series the players would be excited about, yet it turns out this could not have been farther from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Wow.
Jim.
All the gym buttons. Even more gym buttons. Hey. Sure, that's a bit of fun trivia there. I have to pick up all the figurines. Oh my god. Did I get them all? Did I finally get them all? Thank you for playing the new... Thank you for enjoying the new content. Hello? Hello again. It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developer said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise? What nonsense! The Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground and let's drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together, we're going to make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. All we do is change the number in the game's title screen. We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game. Something loud and gaudy. Go ahead. Try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. Oh my god! Stanley Parable 3. A Whisper of... No, okay, no, it's first column. Okay, A Whisper of Tax Disc. I don't know. Stanley Parable 3, A Whisper of Tax Disc. It's absurd. I love it. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game will... nothing in the game itself will change when you do this, either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content recycled again and again and again with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. Sure. Good, then it's agreed. New sequel every time you start the game. You know what? Since you put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. All right, there. The achievement machine is all fixed. See? I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you? Are you ready? Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Please enter the current time. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. Because the end is never the end. That's beautiful. Okay, we've spent a little more time than we should have, but that's fine. We made it. We've made it to the end. And that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for me. Next time, I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. Probably be a one-off or something. We'll see what happens. Until then, thanks to everyone who came out and watched. I'm so glad we finally got to the end of this. And I'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.